So we were just talking about these reviewers on LinkedIn who are looking at these cases and then deciding whether or not to take any type of action. And regardless of the content, it seems like they go ahead and just dismiss it. And Yamil was saying, just like some judges just dismiss these, these cases of sexual harassment because they lack education of what it actually is, what's the definition, and so forth. I was arguing a couple things in addition to that one, the younger generations, with the media and everything that they're seeing on TV, movies, and so forth, they're so desensitized to it that that's just normal behavior. And secondly, there's no incentive for the platforms to take action. I think they're fearful. We don't want to lose membership or, cause, any waves. What if it's one of our, biggest influencers, or what if it's someone who's, doing something that's, contributing money to the company. We don't want to lose these people over, a question, that they don't consider something to be as serious as it is. So they just sweep everything under the rug as a policy and pretend like they're doing something. They just say, "Oh, you can block them," and then that's the only solution.
Well, go on.
Which doesn't give any any feedback to the person, because if you block someone, it doesn't. They don't know that,
no.
And that's fine. I mean, you should have the option of anonymity, but you should also have a button that says, "I'm blocking you because you're inappropriate," and you need to know that feedback.
Well,
there are no
go on, Yamil.
Yeah, and there are no consequences. Mm-hmm. The problem persists, and continues to escalate.
Yeah, and you're mentioning the whole identity thing. I think it's a brilliant idea, having to prove who you are. But I look at it from a realistic perspective. LinkedIn or other platforms aren't going to do that because it's going to cost way too much money. And unless they're forced to by law or the fear of litigation, then they're probably not going to spend the dollars on it.
So do you guys think, I'm new to all online media of all sorts, so my understanding was that Facebook specifically was you had to be the real person. It was only so obviously someone could set up as a fake account, but generally speaking, people are supposed to be who they are.
Facebook, people have, I will tell you, there are accounts under my name on Facebook.
So
there are a few accounts under my name.
So do we think, because I'm not sure that there are humans reviewing these cases, because I told a story on an earlier recording that there's a TV radio DJ in this country on a talk radio show, and he was relaying a story. So in the UK in October, a member of Parliament, a member of Congress from your point of view, was murdered. And at the time they looked at the social media aspect of his killer and the things that they put up. And the idea that there's actual humans reviewing decisions, I think is probably, it might be that we've got a generational bias, because supposing we're 4 people in a room, and each of us have said, yeah, we've had to block someone, and each of us have reported someone, and it doesn't come back. And this James O'Brien, he gave a story. He said that he got a tweet, and in the tweet it was a picture of his front door, which they got off Google Street View by understanding his address and what have you. And he sent a report to Twitter and said, this happened. He was fairly jovial about it because he's a shock jock of sorts. And they wrote back after about 4 or 5 weeks, and they said it doesn't breach our terms and conditions. And this disregard, if it was a person doing it, you go, this person has no empathy. They are literally a sociopath.
Right.
So are big tech sociopaths employing sociopaths, or are the algorithms now only interested in their set agenda, which is to gain engagement. Rashmi, what's your view?
Definitely, I agree with that point of view, which says that engagement is everything, because with every click they make money. You know, they don't. I have a couple of people known personally who have multiple accounts on Facebook, and I never got to understand and never had interested to what they do with the other accounts. So I don't know why they have 2 or 3 accounts on Facebook, unless you are logged out for some reason and it's they have taken down your profile or something for some other reason. I don't see that a person should have a 3 or 4 account on the same platform. But how can I have, there is no mechanism. It says that there is no mechanism to verify who this person is, or how this person can have 4 different accounts to do 4 different things online.
And
Right.
Twitter takes it to another level. I'm sorry to interject.
Yes, of course.
Because you could, like, for example, Jonathan, if you were a very famous person and millions of people knew about you, I guarantee you there'd be a Twitter account for Jonathan's beard. That kind of thing happens. And so it's kind of funny, right? Comical and so forth, but it just means that it's so open. And I think these platforms, they're more concerned with freedom of speech and expression and lack of censorship than protecting individuals. Please continue, Rashmi.
You know, Greg, you said it so rightly that they are not there to protect us. They are there to make money. And that's all they care about, you know, selling our, if you are not good or not tech savvy enough to understand the setting features of your social media accounts, your data will be sold, right? And lots of company people, millions and millions of accounts, they don't even know how to set their privacy, right? And all the data gets sold, and that's a passive income for all these social media companies.
On that very point, actually, Malia from a previous recording was saying that you have to disconnect. So when it says sign in with Facebook or sign in with Google, that's how they end up linked to all the apps on your phone. And anywhere there's a gap or a block or anything that makes your information on that app visible, they then could dive into all of your cookies and history and get all of your data. And it's data harvesting, I think, is the term. So we started off with Greg asking what we wanted to happen. And I had an idea that I wanted to have these discussions be viewed by as many women as possible, so that they can literally go, oh yeah, me too, rather than, oh, what did I do to make this happen? But now that you talk about this authentication requirement, that doesn't require a person to do it, an AI could do it. So it doesn't seem to me to be something which is prohibitively expensive to do. Yamil, what's your view on this?